So we're going to be moving now to the next tab, which is Insert, which changes it to the ribbon of the features available to that section. What's important to remember though in this area is that there is a lot of features that you aren't going to be using when you're taking your test. So we're going to be covering the ones that specifically are part of the syllabus that you need to be aware of. Which covers me to the first part, which is on the right hand side of the ribbon, which is symbols. So you may be asking your test to insert a symbol. First thing you need to be aware is we're going to place the cursor where you want the symbol to go to. So we're going to place it there, and then we're going to go to symbol. And then we're able to select whatever our test or what we're required to there. So we want to put a percentage symbol, or if we wanted to put a pound symbol, or as I pointed out, the division symbol, or even the pi symbol for that matter, we could do it and it will place it just there for us. If you go to more symbols, it gives you a full suite and options of many more that is available, but for yours it'll be highly likely that you'll only be asked to put in the copyright symbol, which you can do. Symbol, and the copyright is just there as well. A new feature with the syllabus is inserting a hyperlink into a Wordpress document. Really handy, which allows you to, if you're viewing it on the computer, not obviously when you're printing, which is not possible, but when you're viewing it on the Word application, you could insert a hyperlink to a web page. So if you want to expand on what's been discussed and go to there, you can do it. Really handy. So you'll see just here, for example, we've got a blue and an underlined bit of text here with the web address CIA training. If we hover over it, it'll actually allow us, if we press the control button and we left click, it will actually take us to that website there. If we were to right click it, however, we can edit the hyperlink. We can also remove the hyperlink as well. So click and remove the hyperlink. It keeps the text, but it removes the option as it being a hyperlink. So you can just edit it as normal and treats it the same way. If we undo that, right click, we go to edit hyperlink. You'll see there's two key areas. There's one, there's the address, which is the web URL, so HTTP CIA training, but there's also the text display. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the text display and just put CIA training. I'm going to put it in capitals, just show you the difference. Click OK. And you'll see it's CIA training, but if I hold control and left click, it still works as a web link, which is really handy. So we right click, edit the hyperlink, and we could, same thing again, we can also just put the address. But you may in your test be asked to insert a hyperlink, but remember to ensure that the text display will not be the same as the address. So just keep an eye on what the question is asking for you to put in the address, but what it's also asking you to put into the text display as well. To insert a brand new hyperlink, what we can do is, if I was to remove that one, for example, fully, and then I'm going to move this other way. So just here, press my tab button a few seconds, and then if we go to hyperlink, just in the middle where links is, we're going to left click, and then we can insert a hyperlink just here. In fact, I'm going to put Google, just change this to Google just here instead, just as a different example. Click OK, and there, hold control, and it'll take us to Google just there. And that's the steps to insert a hyperlink, edit a hyperlink, and also remove a hyperlink as well. Moving forward with the inserting pictures and objects is a really useful tool. It really brings your documents to life when you've got something that can visually explain the text and content that's been discussed in your document. So to insert a shape, we've got the illustrations area just here. So first of all, we've got shapes, and we've got several hosts of shapes we can add. If you put your cursor over and don't left click, it will tell you what it is. You've got oval, triangle, you also have a text box, additional lines as well. So I'm going to create a square box, just it, and hold my left mouse button down, and you'll see there's a shape created there. If I was to left click inside the shape, just keep an eye just up to here. Left click, you'll see drawing tools. Everything that is in this shape is controlled just here, format. So you can change the color, you can change the outline, you can also change some effects as well. And this also applies to a picture too, which is really handy. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a picture. So if you're asking your test to insert a picture or an image into your document, highly likely you're going to have to be going to the Z drive. So just keep in mind that it is only asking for something specifically to the location, and within your test it will be once again the Z drive where you'll be file saving, opening, etc. So we go to pictures, and for my demonstration it's not going to be the Z drive because it's not available, but for desktop, and I'm going to insert CU logo, and there we are. I've inserted that just there. Left click into it, and you'll notice straight away we've got the picture tools. So everything that is in here is controlled by the format picture tools ribbon just here. What we want to do is we're wanting to wrap the text. Now when you insert a picture or a shape, first of all, it treats it as if it's a piece of text. What you want to do is to change that. So you go to wrap text, and you'll notice that it's set in line with text. So if I was to move it, it wants to move it as a piece of text. I don't want it to do that. I want it to move quite freely, but wrap itself around text so that it's quite fluid and it doesn't interfere with the layout and the structure of the text that's been that is already in the document. So left click, wrap text, and I'm going to do square. And what it will allow us to do now is it'll allow us to move it around, let's say for example a paragraph, and you'll see it is quite square. If you put it to tight, you'll see it doesn't make much of a massive amount of difference, I should say, but you'll see that it is a bit more closer to the text than it is before as well. Same thing, you can also insert a picture border as well, so you can also change the weight of the image, and we can make it how we wish to, change the actual weight of it as well, for example, just there. So another good option. Another really important part to be aware of though is size with a image. So if we want to go left click, we're going to format because it's being selected. We may in our test be asked to change a image size, width and height to a different thing. So let's just say we go to the height to 4 centimeters, and you'll notice the width also changes as well. So let's just say we wanted the height to be 3 centimeters but the width to be 5 centimeters. You'll notice it's not allowing us to change. Whenever we change one or the other, they change. They automatically mirror what they are, which is a bit difficult to work out. If you've got a question that's asking you for a height, let's say at 4.5 centimeters height, but it wants the width to be 6 centimeters. The reason why it's doing this is because the lock aspect ratio has been ticked, and to get that disabled, we make sure that we selected the image in question. We're in here. We're going to expand the size section, and you'll see lock aspect ratio. Make sure that that's been unticked, click OK, and this time I'm going to try 4 centimeter height, 6 centimeter, and that will allow it to specifically change the height and the width. Please ensure that when you're in your test, do not get frustrated. Make sure that you remember that the lock aspect ratio needs to be taken off, and then you can apply the measurements that the test question is asking you to do. Really important to be aware of that. Moving along, we're now looking at the header and footer section, which also allows us to insert automatic page numbers. So we're in the Insert tab, and you'll see just a bit to the right, you'll see the header and footer section just here. Just to briefly explain that the header is the top of the page, and the footer is always located at the bottom of the page. So if we were to click Edit, Header, for example, and you'll see we've got some options here. Always go to Edit Header just down here. Click there. And what you'll also notice now is that the cursor is placed and everything's grayed out, and there's a line just showing the distance and the area of the header. But what you'll also notice is that we've also had placed here a new ribbon, which is called Header and Footer Tools just here. And what that allows us to do, it allows us to type our names in or other pieces of text. It also gives us the option to also automatically insert a date or a time, which we can use the available formats. So what we do, we could click the top one, which is your default format, and we can also ensure that we are updating it automatically. So whenever you open the document, it'll also have the date of today, the 23rd of the 7th. And we can also insert some quick parts as well if we wanted to insert a file name as well. You can go to the file name, and then you can click OK, and it'll give you that as well. So just an extra little neat feature too. If we wanted to come out of the header, we can just click Close Header and Footer, and we're back to normal. Then we go to Insert, Footer, edit footer this time. Same steps, but instead of the top, it's at the bottom this time. You can also, instead of doing those steps that I've just showed, you can also automatically just click when we're in the design ribbon for header and footer, go to header, go to footer as well, which is really, really good. So you've got those options just there. Another really handy tool though is the page numbers one here. Now this sometimes catches people out because you may see in your test it'll ask you to insert page number to the bottom right of the footer. But when a lot of people go into page numbers, they can't see the header or the footer, they see top of the page and bottom of the page. What it does mean, it means that it is inside the header or the footer. So the top of the page would be the header, and you'll see very clear, just slightly, it's a bit difficult to see sometimes, but if you zoomed in, you've got the left automatic page numbers, center automatic page numbers, right hand side page numbers there. So I'm going to do the bottom, which is the footer, and I'm going to do to the right just here. So if my test question asks me to do put automatic page numbers to the bottom right of the page, I'm going to click there, and you'll see we've got 5, 4, go downwards, 6, etc. as well. So that's really, really good to be aware of where it exactly is in the application. So again, insert, header, footer, and your page numbers are all there as well.